Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the episode of the Unturned Podcast. I'm your host, Charles, and we're joined once again by Trying Games.
This shit ass, but I can't stop listening.
Stats Wally. DeLeona.
Yeah.
That's going to be great for me syncing audio, because...
That's going to be awesome, yeah.
Yeah, now I gotta sync audio like that. So, I want to have another episode with just us. We've had two guests in the past thing, and kind of want just to sit back and kind of reflect on kind of what's happening with us when it comes to Unturned. I know it's been a while, so it's like some stuff is kind of like old news now, but I feel like there's some stuff we can talk about now with just us. I think there's a bit.
Starting off, I'm dead.
Okay. All right, so I think
He's so real for that one.
I can't gonna stop now.
Just for context, I tried to start the show and these guys kept playing sound clips and I couldn't start the show.
It's the Ammon break. Like, dude, if you had the ability to like perfectly recreate the Ammon break with just like your mouth, perhaps, that would be awesome.
You know the video I sent in chat of J Schlatt?
Dude, I want
that
to do that.
Be me. I want that to be me, but with the almond break.
Dude, imagine.
Yeah.
This is stupid.
Honestly.
Alright, this was the first.
Let's talk about. I want to talk about some of the things that that Molt said on Twitter. He was questioning the community on. Well, his first tweet was about. What was it? What was exactly weapons? What is the most either powerful weapon or underpowered weapon besides the Maple Strike? I like how we had to clarify.
Besides the
Maple Strike. Like, we know about that one.
Because I think he knows that everyone would have just said Maple Strike, which is fair, but at the same time I always hate it because at this point it's just so. At this point, it's like meaningless to say. It's like haha. It's meaningless to say that the Maple Strike's overpowered. It's like such a like okay. Moving on. But I mean, everyone kind of said some interesting weapons. I mean, what do you guys think? What is the most overpowered or underpowered weapon besides the Maple Strike? I want to hear you guys before I say my 2 cents of everything.
I think the Colt kind of sucks. Should be buffed.
Mm-hmm.
I think that.
Well. First of all, when you consider like weapon balance, do you take like how rare it is to get into consideration?
It's for like weapon balance, it's very difficult because half of the things that go into weapon balance in most situations in which I do PvP, all of those are gone. So durability, like obtainment, everything like that in most PvP scenarios that I do, which is usually just either like kit PvP or like creative, all of that is just gone, and it's just.
And I feel
how much damage does it do? You know.
I feel like the most of the community really experiences PvP in that way too, because like who goes on a survival server with the sole purpose of PvP? Like, no,
I do.
No.
Can you believe this guy?
To be fair, here's the thing.
You have 8,000 hours in this game.
I want to say this on that. This is like a side topic, but Lap, God rest his soul, he is playing Rust now. He's left us for Rust. Oh God. But Lap, I remember he convinced me to play Yukon with him, and we were just killing like people with like 100 hours of the game. I'm like, Lap, why are you playing these servers where you're just fighting like little kids that don't even know how to play?
I can imagine Lap just going like KD ratio.
Like we were just killing like the smallest kids on the server. Like there would be like, "Hello, man, hello," and they'd be dead like in 2 seconds later. And it was
hello,
so sad.
Man, hello.
That was some good times. But I think personally,
good times.
Yeah, I mean good times. Yeah, me and Laugh when we used to play with some decent times. But I mean overall, I think. When it comes to weapon balance, people like to generally think about the more overpowered weapons, but personally, I've always had a problem with some of the weapons that become obsolete because of updates. And one update that I'm going to talk about, I gave a bunch of like this information to somebody because they're going to make a...
Every weapon...
Shut up! You're not speaking from my point. You're not speaking from my point. Basically, the two weapons... There's 2 weapons.
Shut up.
Hold up. No, this is my point. This is my point. Why are you stealing this from me?
Finish. Yeah.
The 2 weapons that generally I I honestly like hate because they're useless now is the Desert Falcon and Nikarev. Yeah. Desert Falcon is basically an upgraded ace. It's Desert Falcon is an upgraded ace, right? And but it's overlooked so heavily because it takes high caliber ammo and is the only weapon that takes high cal that can't raid. Even though if it were to raid, it could fulfill a purpose that literally no other weapon can do, which is be able to raid underwater without like general explosives. And I said this to Nelson probably like a long time ago that it should be that way. But it just hasn't really changed. And I think the Desert Falcon needs some retouching, at least of what its ability to do. I think a suggestion as well that I also said, but I didn't say this to Nelson, I said this like just to myself, was to make the Desert Falcon a more longer way to raid, but more efficient way of raiding, as opposed to the Dragon Fang or, you know, any other machine gun raiding weapon, basically is what I'm saying. And I think that'd be interesting to be like a guy raiding a base for about, 3 minutes to take down one wall and give time for somebody to pull up and try to claim the raid instead of being like pretty quickly when it comes to raids.
Then
it's kind of like eco raiding, but and in Rust, but with actual raiding supplies, it's just more efficient to use the Falcon as opposed to the Dragon thing. I don't know if this point's getting across. But that's like just a general idea of making the Falcon more interesting and useful, as opposed to just being that weapon that you use the 7 shots for and you scrap for metal because of how useless it is.
You know, I think that as a raiding balance idea, they should make it so that Housing Planner allows you to salvage other people's walls.
What?
I see no issue with that.
But that's so stupid. That is the dumbest thing. Well, I guess it's a side tangent as opposed to weapons, but the Housing Planner needs an update. Planner.
Dude. Okay, everything about the Housing Planner...
I haven't actually seen it used that much, to be honest.
The problem, I use it whenever I get it, but the Housing Planner is good. All it needs is you need to be able to set keybinds to individual to parts.
No.
Instead of having to open the menu.
What Dilly wants is Fortnite, and we don't want that.
Shut up.
This is what an actual update that needs to happen for the Housing Planner that's been annoying since the beginning of Unturned base building. If you were to build a base, right, and let's say just hypothetically you build out of wood, if you place like objects inside the base and you remove a wall to replace it with metal, you are gonna have to deal with a bunch of items that are in the way of the wall and can't place. I am proposing an update to the wall system and like just the placeable system so you can just automatically replace the wall with a different wall if it's at 100% to have the ability to just spam repair.
That would be really smart.
Because I really hate it because
the amount of times I had like a wooden base with like 1,000 like crates next to a wall. We upgrade to metal and you gotta pick up all these 1,000 crates with items inside them, and it just takes a lot of time. It's just annoying.
Here's the thing too, is I didn't want to necessarily, people will say like, make it so I can just put metal onto the wall. That's stupid. Just to keep it not looking as much as Rust, literally you just make the wall and you replace it with a different wall, and it wouldn't be any problem. As long as it's at 100%, because there's a situation that I can see where someone's raiding, and you can just automatically replace a wall before it's destroyed, which is stupid. Don't do that if you're gonna do that exact position. It has to be 100% wall in order to replace. But yeah, I've been playing a lot of Arid, and it's been so annoying, and I get so worried when destroying and replacing walls, because I'm like, what's in the way, what's not in the way, what's gonna fall out, what's not gonna fall out, and it's so annoying to deal with.
That's even like that would be much better for curated content than vanilla too, because vanilla has nobody uses bricks, let's be honest. So vanilla really has like 2 stages of progression, whereas curated content usually has 3 stages. If you know, wood, metal, or Kuwait has bricks, and then you have the mysterious 3rd endgame resource.
It generally, it would be a better thing. But okay, on that point about brick, I have been seeing more people realize that brick is stronger than metal and replacing their houses with brick, which is happening now.
Wait, it is?
Yeah.
Wasn't that a temporary change?
He never removed the change, from my knowledge. Nobody complained about the change. Nobody said anything about the change.
It's still like could be temporary. You know.
I still think
where...
I mean, last time I checked, the change is still the same, and I don't think anybody has a problem with brick being stronger than metal.
Yeah, I think it's a really good change. Brick is a rare resource in the game, so.
Yeah, I think it gives more progression to Unturned, which is something that people really do need to make their, to get to that point. Plus, the fact that brick is not really used for every exact building supply makes brick just the perfect item to be the next step from metal. So yeah, I think that's that's interesting. But to get back on the point of the weapons, because we kind of deviated a little bit, the Nikarev. Ever since the rating update happened, the Nikarev has basically lost its position in any case scenario. The way that the heavy machine guns used to work, this is old shit, but the way it is basically done is the Hell's Fury was made for horde beacons and because of its 250 round magazine and general military magazine use, bullets. And the Dragon Fang was seen as the PvP weapon due to having less bullets than the Nikarev. And being generally kind of just fast fire rate and decent damage for what it was. And the Nikarev being a weapon that drops from the Horde Beacon along with its ammo, and the ammo type not being used for the general PvP weapons, made the Nikarev the perfect raiding weapon on maps like PEI and Russia and Washington, the main maps. And generally what happened after the rating update is basically Nelson removed this crucial ability of the Nikarev, and gave it to the Dragon Fang with no downsides to the Dragon Fang whatsoever, which is now why you see on PvP servers nobody uses the Nikarev at all. You see people use the Dragon Fang over the Nikarev in PvP scenarios because the Dragon Fang had that classification back in the day and still had the same better fire rate and better damage than Nikarev from what I know. And basically Nikarev got completely screwed over. And people are so salty about that. I know I was talking to some people who were still mad that the Dragon Fang was chosen as the raiding weapon as opposed to the Nikarev, because the Nikarev, for the general community, was the raiding weapon. And it's so sad now that the Nikarev is seen so much as a joke that literally when I find it's basically, if I find it, it's my last resort weapon. If I have a different weapon, I'm scrapping the Nikarev for metal. It's basically just a very sad excuse of weapon. And before anybody says that they would use it in a sentry gun, literally you can put a Maple Strike in a sentry gun and get the same amount of ammo in a sentry as a Nikarev. There is no practical purpose of the Nikarev as of current, and that needs to change. And I think there's two necessary ways to go about this, and you guys could either agree or disagree with me. One way would be completely revamp the Nikarev to be an actual a killing machine, or this is just something that I was told that is probably impossible, but I've been told over the years that something has been impossible and eventually it's able to be done later on as time goes on. But make the Nikarev actually raid wooden structures. I always hated that it takes about 5 minutes for someone to build a wooden house, and it takes somebody about 2 hours to probably farm some boom to destroy a decently sized wooden house, and basically get nothing for it. And at least it would be interesting if the Nikarev itself just kind of forced people to move away from wood and just build out of metal, because in the same that there's no real rush to go to actual metal, because it takes the same amount of raiding supplies basically to raid a wooden house as a metal house. I mean, there's clear differences, but you still need the same tools to raid each other. That makes any sense?
Yeah.
So it's just generally not worth it to raid wooden houses, because again, it's just a waste, and you would rather waste it on better bases. And there's also no urgency for wooden bases to upgrade to metal. So I think making a weapon that is inherently made to attack wooden bases would incentivize people to actually build better bases faster.
I see what you mean. I think that for an Unturned rating update, we should add a bag. We should add a throwable bag of termites to remove a wooden base.
And then the lore to what it says in the wooden description, where it says beware of termites, actually applies.
True, exactly.
You see, Trident's over here with the lore.
Don't you dare. You're the real. You're the
No.
If it weren't for Knight Rider, Charlie, you'd actually be the real.
Knight Rider was a plant.
Knight Rider was a plant.
Knight Rider was a plant by the glitches. All right, I'm just saying.
Glitches to take away the heat.
After I have exposed
where's the typewriter? Let's get him in here.
After I have said that, I have to go offline for like a month. He will hunt me down.
True.
Saswally is having a bit of a mental breakdown as of current, so don't listen to anything he's saying. It's just generally like nothing. It means nothing. So
stay away, motherfucker.
So I don't know. What do you? I mean, you guys already said what you need to do. What do you guys think about his tweet about vehicles? Molt's tweet about vehicles.
Dude,
I think it's interesting.
Oh no, I mean it could just be just community interaction things, I guess. Just, you know.
Basically, if you guys don't know, Molt made a tweet where he's saying, what do you think about the vehicle physics is basically the general concept of what he said. And everybody said they didn't like it. Like, literally, there's not a single person that said that they liked the vehicle physics in Unturned, and I have to agree. It's some of the worst, like, vehicle physics in any video game ever.
Blockland has
No,
hop on Blockland right now.
Dude, okay, you can ask Stas, you can ask Toofy now, you can ask me, dude. You can ask Eunice. Blockland has amazing vehicle physics, and they are way better than Unturned's. I played Speed Kart with Toofy for like half an hour. Right. The car physics are really good.
Let's do it.
And there is glitches with the car physics from what I saw last time, which is kind of funny.
Dude, exactly.
I think, yeah. If there was anything that needs to be fixed immediately, I think personally the car physics need to be fixed. It's been years without fixtures, and the community has somewhat fixed vehicles on their own, with their own, mods and sometimes scripts to fix it. But, yeah, I think that's something that necessarily needs to be fixed, like, immediately. It's just been always bad. I remember I was playing, actually, I can't really say what, but I was playing a game with somebody, and every 2 seconds, we were riding on these bikes, and every 2 seconds, we just kept fucking, like, falling over. It was so sad. I couldn't believe it. We were trying to run away from, like, monsters, too. It's pretty funny.
Dude, that's pretty scary.
Dude.
I guess this leads into another point, because this mainly we're talking about balances and stuff, is, Renaxon made 2, forum posts, about some general things that he believes that should be fixed, and one of them was, the nighttime in Unturned. Now, granted, personally, the nighttime in Unturned has never really been a problem for me, but I think as I get older, I now realize how really bad it has become, and I think generally there should be some change, but I don't know. It's really hard because I look at games like Rust where you literally can't see anything at all at night. Like it's a pure like black screen you're gonna get. Like I find like Rust pretty Unturned.
Isn't that good? I mean,
yeah, but the concept, but the problem that Renaxon's bringing up is that inherently people with graphics cards could immediately just like gamma boost their game and basically nullify the nighttime of Unturned, which is something that has happened. I've seen that happen so many times already since like
it's a common.
Oh, with game filters and stuff. I think I have one set up to gamma boost the hell out of nighttime.
Mm-hmm. So and it's not necessarily. I don't want to say that's necessarily cheating either. It's just something a part of the like just like
making
software.
My game brighter, like.
Yeah, it's not necessarily like anything crazy in my opinion, but it is a problem.
I wouldn't consider it cheating just because of how simple it is. Like
I wouldn't consider it cheating because I use it.
It's like the concept. No, but even I don't gamma boost, but I understand the whole point of it. Like I don't think it's cheating either, but I think it is a real problem because it inherently gives an advantage to somebody else as opposed to someone doesn't have the ability to gamma boost or it's not gamma boosting at all. So
I think in general, a lot of the old vanilla maps should be updated with better night times.
yeah,
Nighttime lighting.
I think as time's gone on, I mean that's just as a bunch of concepts too. Like as time has gone on and more stuff has come out, I think we look back at the new or older maps and we're like, yeah, that needs to be fixed.
Well, again, first of all, we have to ask ourselves: do we want Unturned nighttime to be like dark and so you can't see shit, or do we want it so it's like just a visual change?
I think the outdoors of because what I'm thinking is if we're speaking in like any type of technical sense, like any light at nighttime is from like moon, sun, whatever, who cares? I think that the outside at night should be a bit brighter, but indoors should be darker. I think there still should be like shadows and stuff at night where there isn't right now.
Moonlight.
Well,
yeah,
we could go just all crazy style, and we could have it so that the visibility during night is dependent on the moon cycle. But like
true, we could do that.
That
That could be kind of funny.
That would be interesting if we had very bright full moons, but like very dark. What is it?
We could have
moon.
pitch black new moons.
Yeah, basically.
I don't know.
Maybe not like completely pitch black. The one way I would see
black.
that being handled is like instead of just making the game darker because you can just like brighten it up again, there could be like some sort of fog introduced, for example. So when it gets dark, you kind of have like a fog filter, so it actually limits your visibility, not just makes the game darker. For example, I think that would be my way of going to.
That's interesting.
And also like you like utility wise, like the tactical flashlight is not really that useful. Like because I mean you can just turn up your gamma and then just put an adaptive chambering on it.
Yeah.
But if you can't see anything, you can just turn that shit on and now you can see.
Ooh, I just had an idea. Try just to build off of what you said and what Stas said. Imagine that like at night it just becomes super foggy and like you literally need a tactical light to see through certain object, like to see through the fog somewhat more clearly, to give the tactical light more better use. I think that'd be interesting.
At the same time, there should be like more better lighting physics. You know how I would say like a fair amount of games, I think Tarkov would be a good example. When you flash someone with like a light, it doesn't like you don't really see. It's hard to see. Like you just see like a light, but you just can't see like where. So
okay, if you want to,
yeah.
For the listeners at home,
like HDR.
If you wanna know what we're talking about, grab the nearest flashlight,
and
turn it on, and point it at your eyes. That's basically what I think would be.
We obviously don't mean that. I hope.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that.
But no, because then it provides a whole new use. You can you actually make yourself more apparent. Like people know where you are, but I mean, you're not like a head, chest, and arms, but you're just like
they don't see you. They just kind of know what direction. Yeah.
I think the reason it works well in Tarkov is because characters are a lot thinner in Tarkov. First off, and I think that for it to have the same effect that it does in Tarkov, the actual glare would have to be massive. Like
I think from like a certain
larger.
angle it can be, and there could also be this could be pretty advanced, but when like how do you fucking call it when you're like adjusting, when you point a bright light, it's like super bright at first, and then eventually like the longer you like the light, the less
I guess
bright it looks. Maybe for now, to sort of like make it more lethal at nighttime.
Square law? Is that what you're saying?
Inverse square law.
Inverse square law applies to more than just light.
Yeah, but that's basically what we're talking about, right?
No, he's stuck. I think what Trident is talking about is like
when you're in a dark.
Yeah, just get used to it. They just
get
get
in
used
a dark room, and then when you're in a dark room, you then go outside, and the sun's there, and it's like damn, that shit bright, but then a little bit later it's like,
I
okay, that's
think
not
that
bright.
if Unturned were to introduce such mechanic, it would literally be one of the first games ever to do that. I have never seen that in any
Really,
game.
I feel no.
I mean,
like
no,
the
it would
game
be
that.
it'd be just like, what was it? It'd be like HDR, right? I know that Counter-Strike Source does that.
True.
Yeah. Counter-Strike
don't
Source
notice
does
it, maybe.
that.
You
Yeah.
just don't notice it because it's just like natural.
Yeah,
I notice it
think
in Gmod a lot.
also the forest does it, I believe.
Also, I think that would be a great buff to the OB item. I mean the the blindfold
Now it's-
item. Yeah, I think
now
the
it's pay to
blindfold
win?
needs a buff.
You can.
Any mythicals will just project a little bit of light, just become an omnipotent god.
Oh
of
my
light.
god, Diddley. You did
Come on.
something with a mythical that made it pay to win, basically.
Oh yeah, I did. So with certain settings in Unturned, so mythicals will reflect off of surfaces, right? And it turns out the St. Petersburg Tunnel is for some reason set up as a reflective object. And so if you have the correct game filters, you can turn up the reflection an extremely large amount. And in third person, with specifically a full set of the musical mythical, you can see an outline of yourself, other players, the train tracks, the carts on the tracks, the walls of the tunnel, and zombies.
Bro,
So
can I
you
hack?
could just-
speaking of,
Yeah, you could just see everything with mythicals.
Bro is cheating.
Yeah.
no, bro is just using his money.
Bro is pay to win.
And okay, I've tested this a bit more. Here's the part that I didn't mention. So it wasn't just so the first time I mentioned it, it was with the musical mythical, but I tested it more. You guys know the Acid Trooper backpack, the one that's like really bright?
The circular like tube one.
Yeah. So pretty much that works the same way, but is way more, but is way better because the actual light is being blocked by your character. You can't be seen, but because of the way that third person works, it still works the same way. So it still reflects off of the tunnel, and you can still see the outline of everyone and everything. But anyone else in the tunnel, if they're facing you, they don't get the effect. Which is actually very pay to win.
That is very.
Which is pretty
that's interesting.
funny. Yeah.
Great, good job, Nelson.
This is what happens when you make the same period of a tunnel reflective.
Yeah.
I guess to go back to the Renaxon post, I think probably the basic vanilla maps need to be upped when it comes to their night times because it's just kind of out of date now, and it's just kind of unfair for people just gamma boosting that don't have that ability or just don't do it in general. So I think it'd be good to go back and change the lighting of those. I guess the next post. You only want to say
I do
something?
think that a lot of I do think in general a lot of stuff with the official maps do need to be updated.
Oh yeah,
As a lot of the stuff has gotten outdated.
yeah. We've been somewhat spoiled by the newer curated content stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Polaris.
but yeah, there should be some updates generally. Is that everything we have to say about this this post particularly?
Maybe.
Particularly.
All right, let's go on to the next post. The next post, my rant is basically, well, it's just mainly recoil and how ridiculous certain items just have recoil and don't. Like, you had a comparison on there, which is fucking insane to me, that he was shooting a sport shot, and the sport shot had more recoil than the actual Grizzly, which was actually insane to think about, that the sport shot has more recoil than the Grizzly does. That was a shock, complete shock. I could not believe that. But yeah, that's when no one checks the recoil in fucking sport shot. It's a sport shot. So I mean, generally, I think I don't know. What do you guys have anything to say about that post? I don't know if you guys saw that post.
I feel like you should actually preface what that post was. It was so the post was showing how if something has a scope on it, it has a lot more. It has a lot less recoil, like an extremely reduced amount of recoil. And in the post itself, he shows a grizzly with a scope. It was either a 7x, an 8x, or a 16x. I don't remember, or a cross scope. I don't know. Pretty much, it had a scope on it, and he shot it, and it had less recoil than a iron-sighted sport shot.
Mm-hmm.
And that was pretty much the post. He was showing how if there's a scope on a gun, it has a lot less recoil.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
And also, I don't know... I'm trying to remember. I don't know whether it was shown in the post, but I think that it also applies to third person. So the less recoil only applies in first person, actually. I don't know whether that was shown in the post or not.
I don't think so, because I just remember the sport shot and grizzly comparison, and also the bullet marks showing the difference.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that's something I've always noticed. It's just generally I didn't really think too much about it. But at the same time, yeah, it is kind of stupid. So, yeah, that's just generally like, I don't know. It's a weird, something really weird about Unturned. It's a unique, weird thing, and that should be probably fixed.
I know. I mean, it's just another balancing thing.
Yeah, more balancing. The majority of this episode is going to be talking about balancing. This is basically what this is. It's just our ideas of balancing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that goes. Is there anything else that was talked about inherently about balancing for Unturned? I think that was all the main concepts that we kind of missed out on talking about. So is that everything? Am I missing anything?
Probably not.
All right. Well, you guys want to go into something that we've all somewhat kind of. Wait, what?
Yeah. How do you drop items in Blockland, Diddley?
Oh my
Control
god.
W. Don't worry about it.
Control what?
W.
Okay, thank you.
Bro, stop playing Blockland. You're on the Unturned podcast.
Join us, I think.
Bro,
dude, no.
God.
This game is like. You know that thing on TikTok where they have the Subway Surfers at the bottom? Like, that's this game right now. Like, it helps us think.
This is stupid.
We're not even thinking about what we're doing in game. We're still thinking about the
generation.
conversation. It's just we need the physical stimulation of something
The
on
next
our
generation,
screen.
everybody. The next generation.
Yeah. So we're playing Blockland as well.
The next generation. I don't know. Okay, so
you're an old man, yeah.
So
dude, I feel like TikTok would love Blockland if they found out about it. I'm gonna be honest, dude. This game's awesome.
Okay, enough about
Enough.
I want to talk about something that's we've all been kind of clowning on over the years, and something that I actually find interesting because I think Trident would be a good person to ask questions about, because I don't think he's not a part of any of this. He doesn't really pay attention too much, so he's like the perfect person to question about this too.
Trident game, what is your opinion on pronouns, dude?
No, shut up.
Stas, I almost started on my words because you threw a Molotov at me. Thanks.
Okay, enough beating around the bush. We're talking about Unturned Official. I bet you 100% there is currently some Unturned Official staff member listening to this part of the episode. I can't wait to hear all the nonsense being spouted in UO after this.
Yeah.
So
yeah. I think that something that was pointed out was it's kind of weird how stuff applications have been open for such a long time, right? But the one like staff election where the possibility of a queer staff member being added, and they delay it indefinitely. That's kind of weird. Okay, you know?
No. My theory is just that it was spammed, because like, yeah,
maybe
the recent one. I'm confused of which one you're talking about.
The recent one. I'm pretty sure like this, because the staff applications are locked right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
like, and I'm pretty sure that's just because they got spammed by malicious people.
I don't know.
Probably.
I mean, I've heard of ballpark numbers about how many applications are put into to UO, and I don't really fully know the extent of it because I don't really see everything. But it is a bit odd. But to be fair,
I do. I see everything. Absolutely everything.
But to be fair, there was a whole like list of, not list, but like a couple of things that happened prior to the locking of the application before that, which is kind of interesting because I got lucky somewhat because it was of something dumb. But basically, I guess I'm gonna talk about what I've done recently. Over the years, I haven't really said this to anybody, so I'm just gonna say this publicly. I think I've been applying to Unturned Official since 2018. That was the first application I think I did, or 2018, 2019. That was a long time ago. And I did another one back in like 2021, I believe. And then now this is my third application to become a UO staff member for the Discord server. So, and this one, basically, I mean, it's just the same questionnaire. If you go look at the application questionnaire, you can go look at it and basically what I filled out. And it's very interesting to think about, because I was thinking about like all my past experiences with staffing on stuff. And I was like, I just don't, like, there's a lot, but a lot of it doesn't really matter. Like, I used to staff for about, I think in total I've staffed about 10 servers, which isn't inherently a lot, but there's been like 2, maybe even 3 staff positions I had for probably years, which is like the ones I talked about in my application, which is kind of interesting. But looking back and thinking about like those application questions, it's just really odd to like go back and think about exactly everything that happened, which is funny. But here's the funny thing about the applications with my application. I'm gonna say this because I think it's just funny. I don't personally believe that there was anything malicious that happened. I think it was honestly just a screw up. Apparently my application got lost. My application got lost during a transfer of, I believe, the Google document the Google Forms document that allows for the applications. And magically, my application got lost during the transfer, I believe, and it wasn't backed up at all. And I wasn't told until a day before the applications got shut down. So luckily, I was able to send another one in. Which to me, I mean, to be fair, if you lost the application, then that's fine. But I find it kind of odd I wasn't told that it was gone until I got into a voice call with a staff member, and they basically said, "Oh yeah, something funny happened. Your application just disappeared." And I was like, "What?" And I thought they were messing with me until I confirmed it with somebody else, and that was pretty funny. But yeah, I don't know. I was thinking about mainly the community and how everything's somewhat became kind of polarized now. I remember when I met Diddley and Stas for like the first couple times. That was like probably the most unified the community ever really was. Was during when we were playing on the Zype SMP and like just messing around. That was probably the most somewhat most united time in
But you're talking about the Minecraft one?
Yeah. When that's when I first met Diddley, was on the Zype SMP.
Oh. So what you're saying is that the time when the Unturned community was the most united is when they were not playing Unturned.
True.
Well, the culmination of that event, the first Zype event I was invited to, I mean, everyone was kind of just chill with each other. There wasn't really any problems with anybody back then.
I mean, because okay, the SMP was a closed group, Charles.
But the thing is that like
the Unturned elite, if you will.
Think about this, Stas. Literally, nearly half of those people are now probably like bash like us or you or Diddley now. And like so.
Good. That's
look,
character
yeah,
development.
I know, but look,
You're
if you look through the list,
us.
if you look through the list, like half of them dislike you guys. If I go through the mental notes,
interesting.
Which is it's just kind of funny to think about that. The Zype SMP was the most probably united time of the community, and that's long before. Like when you came into the community stats, and when Diddley came into the community, you didn't really see a lot of like.
Of course I didn't.
You didn't really see that shit at all, which is kind of interesting. I wonder I don't know if the cat's out of the bag, and this is going to be the new standard for the community as we go forward. To be more polarized. Or I don't know. Maybe this is just a current thing, and maybe it'll reset as time has gone on. But I don't know.
It took me like 2 years to realize, like 3 actually. Wow, I'm old. But yeah, I kind of like the people who have left Unturned, right? I kind of get it now.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
No, really. Like, yeah.
I don't know, but I guess to go back on the UO kind of topic, Trident, I want to ask you something. As somebody that necessarily doesn't pay attention to almost anything Unturned related, Trident, is Trident even here?
Yeah, he is currently not paying attention.
Bro, he's not paying attention. Bro, he's out. He's completely out. Dude, I literally answered the question for myself. He's not even here. Oh my god.
Wait, aren't there like basketball hoops? Like, can we actually play basketball?
Are you still? Oh my god. Shut up.
We're still
Vlogland.
We're like 3-year-old
I think
activity. We're just throwing a ball around. Like,
Yeah, we're not even doing anything.
My mic
I
was
think
disconnected.
That's what happened. That's what happened.
he
That's exactly what
disconnected.
happened.
Okay,
I was
so
talking to myself for
did
like
you
20
hear anything
minutes.
I said, Trident?
Yes, you said pronouns and shit.
No,
and
that's
then-
not. He's just
I
not
know.
paying attention.
And then you did. Oh yeah, now I understand why the people Unturned have left and how the game is most united when we were playing Unturned. Yeah.
No,
I heard all
okay. This is the question, Trident. As someone that doesn't
Yeah.
pay attention to Unturned as a whole, what do you think of Unturned Official?
I think it's fine, but at the same time, I think it's not. I mean, it's kind of It's kind of weird how I think a good
Bro,
example
really?
was like the flags and shit, where someone put like.
Bro
Like,
really
Captain
wants to
Sydney?
avoid the question.
I'm answering it in all honesty. They put flags. They put like I think it was a trans flag, right? And then everyone went ballistic. And I think and then they did the same thing with Ukrainian flag, but when they did Russian flag, everyone was like, it was all fine. And yes, it's a lot of it's like Russian, people. But it's like I don't know. It just seems kind of weird. A little bit. I do sense a bit of transphobia, maybe.
Do you feel
A
like?
bit.
Do you feel like?
A bit.
Hold
bit.
up. Do you feel that Unturned Official inherently is the culture on Unturned Official Discord server is not good? Like the culture.
No, it's not. I mean, I'm gonna be honest. It's just I don't know.
Is it uninviting? Do you feel it as uninviting?
To me, I don't see it as uninviting because I don't interact with it.
But let's say you were more. Let's say you're in a position where you
I was
wanted
more
to.
active. I would say no. Well, to me, yeah, but maybe. I don't know how to answer that question because I
Okay.
haven't really been super involved.
Yeah, I think I don't know. I think Unturned Official. I think something interesting I was talking about with someone I forgot who. I said the standard of an Unturned not Unturned server. A standard of just anything is set by the administration of that thing. So if the administration believes in something or jokes around about something, that's going to be passed down to the members and cultivated through the members of that community. And I think culturally the Unturned Official Discord server has been very bad over the years and has bred a lot of negativity and hostility towards newer people showing up. Like
Like, what do you mean by like newer members of Unturned?
when I look at Unturned Official, I think a problem.
Even for people looking for like help with some, like, even if they're like modding something, like, hey, how would I do this?
There's a
They're
lot
often
of
just
secrecy.
mad of, oh, why are you such an idiot? Like,
I think
because I'm pretty sure it's to protect like commissions, right?
I don't think so. I think some of it's just...
I'm not even talking about the gatekeeping. Like, okay, whatever. That's another topic of its own. I'm just talking about like some people in there are just like unnecessarily aggressive to like newcomers, you could say.
Mhm.
I've never experienced that.
I saw someone ask something very mundane. I think it was like there's a hockey stick spawn on Russia because they didn't find a hockey stick, and they were just like clowned on for it. Like I don't get.
Well, I can see that. Yeah, just some dudes with like thousands of hours saying, "Oh, you didn't know that a hockey stick spawned in this town."
I mean, it's kind of funny, but at the same time, I'm like, well, yeah, but they're super aggressive about it either. And
also, if you have a different role than just member, you can get away with basically anything. So.
Oh yeah, and also looking at how many people play this game on single player. I think didn't we say it was like 15,000, and how like the rest is nearly
like
single player? It's like
supposedly it's like half the player count. I've heard that somewhere. Can't confirm right now, but I've heard that somewhere.
Isn't it? I think 33%.
It's crazy to think that Unturned was once at 100,000 people.
Yeah, and you have one of the main hubs of the community be kind of like just generally rude to newer people.
Yeah.
I feel like most people don't even know that place exists.
Yeah,
but I mean,
that's a good thing.
Actually pretty good.
That is but like, how do you find out about UO? Like, how do you find about its existence?
Oh no.
Oh, you probably play the game. Play with some friends. Like, hey, check out UO or some shit like that.
Yeah. But where did they find the server? I'm pretty sure.
I mean,
my first introduction to the server was like, I had my own back in the holy shit long time ago, and someone was like, "Hey, there's like an Unturned Discord server." I was, I wasn't aware of that. Now give me a link, and then they were like, "No, don't join, don't."
Every single I used to.
You don't hear anything positive about that server outside.
Yeah, whenever I used to teach a bunch of people Unturned, and pretty much every time that they would ask about a Discord, I would either direct them to Stas's or I would say no, there isn't one.
That's kind of true though. Like the Unturned official Discord server is kind of buried. You kind of have to look for it on your own to find it. It's not promoted really anywhere,
which may be for the better.
I think that's a actual choice to not promote it whatsoever. I think that's a general choice.
Imagine if PewDiePie or like DanTDM saw like Unturned official, they'd probably delete their videos that they made on this game.
Probably yes.
True.
I don't know.
Actually, yeah.
If they fully cared, probably, but
that's the biggest issue with Unturned official. It's because it's the official server.
Yeah,
right?
I think the biggest issue with Unturned official is that it's official, and yet it's like not at the same time, because STG themselves aren't really involved, and so it's kind of devolved a hell ton to the point where even like the politics of the server don't align with STGs.
That is true. Yeah. Also, it's like, didn't people go kind of ballistic when the Ukrainian flag got added? And then someone's like, "Oh yeah, dude, we want to avoid unnecessary politics."
I would really like to quote 3 Clicks Philip here.
Do it.
Where is it? Oh yeah, there was a guy who commented on it, and I'm just saying this because it could be really like the you could draw a lot of parallels back to the Unturned community. There was a guy who commented on the 3 Clicks Philip video who said like, "I wish you could keep politics out of your videos, especially 3 Clicks." And 3 Clicks Philip just replied, "I will if Russia keeps their soldiers out of Ukraine."
Yeah, what's he gonna do about that?
Yeah.
There you go, Cookie. I ruined the podcast. I made it political.
Uh-oh.
I mean, our podcast has been somewhat political
Charles.
ever
this
since.
This is what happens when you agree with such a crowd.
Yeah, but our podcast has been political.
I mean, no one is even listening at this point. So.
Well,
no one listens
the 14th episode was the time that we turned political because that's when Nelson added the Ukrainian flag, I believe.
Wasn't it like the 3rd or 4th
It might have been
episode?
the
Actually,
8th.
I swear it was so early.
Yeah, it was pretty early.
It was like the 2nd ep, bro.
No, it was not the 2nd ep. No, it was like the 4th, 8th. I think it was in between there. I don't remember.
No, it wasn't.
It was somewhere before the 10th.
Yeah,
I know that.
Yeah, it was before the 10th.
Yeah.
I think it was the 8th
episode. It's crazy to think because I was taking a World War II class in high school.
Ninth.
And apparently this, I guess, during the time he was teaching, there's there's never been an active war during the fucking teaching. Shit.
Yeah.
All right, what else?
And then I heard a Black Hawk helicopter outside my window. So
Awesome.
United States be like low.
yeah, they had a lot of soldiers here.
Yeah, they're waiting.
They're waiting. They went back, I think. I don't know. They're building nuclear reactors now here, so I'm not complaining.
Nuclear.
I think what was I gonna go back to the UO? I don't know. UO has always been kind of like this odd place where it's very looked down upon by the general community of Unturned.
No, but like honestly, have you heard anyone speak positively about it? Like
no, inherently no. I think I've heard more positive things about Axe Discord server when it still existed than UO.
You see, I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, at one point the Axe server network had more members in it than actual Unturned official. So a server network in Unturned had more members than the actual official Discord server for Unturned. So. That necessarily doesn't say something about the state of the Unturned Discord server. Then I don't know what does. To be fair, like Panda Hut has about 20,000. I think Unturned official has 26,000. So
what's the like what is it? The survival network SOD. How about that?
I think SOD has like 16,000. I don't think they have much.
That is, those are impressive
numbers.
But
generally,
I mean, if you look at Unturned, like the server networks really just kind of own the game, you could say. I mean, they own all the servers. They own the places that people play on. There are no official servers for the game, so I guess it would kind of make sense.
Yeah. That actually brings up a good point I wanted to bring up. I don't know if I wasn't going to bring it up, but I'm going to bring it up anyway. I guess I was looking back at older videos by content creators back in the day, and I looked at I really hate this term. I really do. I think it's one of the worst terms to ever exist in our community. And
he's gonna say slow.
Nope. It is quote unquote. I'm gonna say this. I'll say this. The problem with Unturned. This is probably the worst. Almost every single video that has the problem with Unturned with it is completely wrong. About what it is, but there's one actual major problem with Unturned that does actually, dare I say, actually negatively affect the game. And I think many people have brought it up in the past, but I'm gonna bring it up now because Stas said it. Literally, there is. I look back at these guys that are playing Unturned, like YouTubers that play multiplayer or even single player for that matter. Unturned is very chaotic when it comes to what you play on. And when I was looking at these videos and people played on like 10x or like they play on like a weird Tarkov like server, and I look in the comments and like it's nice to see that there's people there saying that this is not how Unturned actually is. You play them like probably the worst server ever. But when I see this on multiple these comments, I see these comments on multiple videos that play on multiplayer servers, I think there's generally a problem with how Unturned is quote-unquote supposed to be played, and there's no real consensus on what a newer player should be playing or like know how to play the game, because they're gonna just look at the player list and like the server list and be like, what the hell does any of this mean?
Yeah, okay, it's like booting up CS:GO. It's like booting up CS:GO for the first time, and then instead of going into official matchmaking or anything, you immediately click on the server browser and then click on the first and then sort the maps by alphabetical, and then click on the first thing that you see. That's pretty much what it is.
But the problem with that
it's because many people have started treating. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm saying it's a good thing. It's just a thing that happens. A lot of people have started treating Unturned as more of a platform than a game, like a standalone game. Kind of like Blockland, you could say, but
dude,
like, okay, if you say I'm playing Blockland, like, what does that mean? What are you doing in the game? You could be doing anything. And I sort of feel like that's slightly somewhat happening to Unturned. It's because it's like a sandbox thingy that people just can do whatever they want. Like, yeah, there is the main game, which is kind of like a survival zombie game, but as you mentioned, Charles, there are a lot of people that just don't even experience that because they join some random server that's like, maybe they join uncreated and they think that Unturned is like a milsim PvP game, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, yeah, I would agree with that point. It's like a double-edged sword. I think Unturned's identity, as of currently, has been eroding over the years. And it's led to a lot of people being really confused about what this game even is. And even Nelson, to a certain degree, is confused about the game is. I think I found the actual identity of Unturned. I think Unturned is a casual survival game. That is probably the simplest and best way to describe Unturned. Because
I mean, okay, what is a survival game?
It's basically a progression game. Like, it's progression.
Okay,
that's basically what it is. A survival game is
because
progression.
I've seen a lot of people.
How do we call Unturned a progression game?
You start
if
off
the
with nothing
community
and
isn't
on
progressive?
a specific,
and you have something later on.
and you're able to obtain gear that's specific to either a map or like a server that doesn't carry over to somewhere else or to anything else except for the skills that you gain during that time. So that's what a survival game is, and that's what I classify it as.
Because a lot of people ask the question like, okay, we need so we had the Antarctica map, right?
True,
That was basically like a jab at all the people saying, oh, Unturned needs a true survival map, and this is how Carpet was made, which is the best map in the game. But yeah, it has its own issues.
I love BattleBit, the prequel.
Yeah, the prequel. No, but what I'm saying is that a lot of people say that Unturned like needs a survival map or whatever, and a lot of people are trying to do that. But like, ultimately, what does that mean? Like, what does it mean to be a survival
To any map
Like,
creators
what
that are
aspect?
there, call me up if you don't know what that means. I'll help you out immensely. I've been thinking about this stuff for years.
Oh my god, he's gatekeeping the knowledge. He's
Okay,
not
what
gonna
does
sit
it
on the
mean?
bot.
For a survival experience, I generally chalk it up to progression.
What survival aspects does Unturned have? Because like,
It's a casual survival
what surviving?
game. I mean, casual
Yeah.
is just like it's just faster.
Yeah. What do you like do in the game that you would classify as like survival
Kill,
mechanic?
loot,
That is
make a house,
kill what?
kill zombies, kill players, get a house.
Kill players is not a survival mechanic. That is like
Alright, then kill
I mean,
animals, kill
You
zombies.
can do everything that you've described over in like Bristol, mate. But I don't class Bristol as a survival.
But you can. I mean, I think the
Dude,
fact.
the UK is a survival island, bro. Like, what are you talking about?
True.
But the thing is that it's just general progression that's stuck to a location, either that be a map or a server that's specific to it.
I guess what I'm trying to say is that a lot of people are saying like just repeating the word survival, but
they don't know what it means.
ultimately they don't know what it means, and what they think it means is just not fun. Like, remember Kuwait?
Dude,
during the
I love
playtest?
Escape from Tarkov.
remember Kuwait during the playtest, like how rare food was, and drinks. That wasn't fun. Like, that was, yeah, survival was hard, but that wasn't fun. That was just annoying. So Animatic just bumped up the spawns, right? You could say killing zombies. All right, is that fun? Is like punching one entity that behaves the same way over and over again until it just dies? Is that a fun?
Actually, there's boss zombies, and those behave differently.
It's it's
Yeah,
more
but there's,
I
like-
more so see it as a looting
There's
mechanic.
like
There's
five
no
of them.
variation of those.
Yeah. It's just, yeah. The gameplay loop is kind of stale, is what
I
I'm trying
think-
to say. Like, building bases, yeah, that can be fun because, unleash your creativity kind of stuff. But then
Every
kinda think about
zombie, yeah,
no,
no,
people don't build bases
Mhm.
creatively. They just build it like for a meta. You just gotta build a honeycomb. You gotta have a loot room. It's the same every
You should
time.
have seen my base on the on the Wesley tournament, like when I was showing Diddley.
I saw that base.
And to be fair, that base took the biggest beating out of all the bases that existed, and was the most boom to raid.
they use
Like 12,
two.
12 no, like
They
18 rockets.
I swear they used like two, and like most of us were dead.
well, yeah, because it was wood, but literally they took about, I think it was 12 rockets in total to raid the whole thing, though. Like, it still took a shit ton to raid. More so than the other bases that existed. Like, there's bases that would be immediately raided in one rocket, and our base took like 12.
Yeah, but you have to acknowledge that you are purposefully putting yourself at a disadvantage by not like building a meta base. You could say
The base,
if
the
you
base
go
wasn't
no.
meta.
Okay, Cookie
inherently.
Charles. Yeah. Okay, I agree with you. Like, it's not that bases like that are impossible in the game. It's just that people don't build them. Go onto any survival server. It's either sky bases or like the same honeycomb strategy every time.
Here's the thing, and this brings us to the point to the back one. So what basically Stas is suggesting is that there needs to be a weapon that forces you to actually think about your base design, and that needs to be the Nykarev, because it needs to raid wood, because wood is super easy to get. So please, buff the Nykarev to raid wooden buildables. That is basically what Stas is saying, because there needs to be a better way to make people think about their bases and how to design them. There you go.
Well, what I'm saying is just switch up the gameplay a little bit. You know, the next map creator, hello, just go crazy. You know.
Yeah,
don't repeat the same stuff.
But I'm saying, but I think generally, I mean, look at Arid. I think Arid's the best example of a long-term progression that's fun.
Yes,
but that's what I consider
no
survival.
Why exactly? But Arid is just fun.
But that's fun.
You can
it's not
play Arid. You can play on one Arid server for months, and you could still be having fun somehow.
Yeah, and I think inherently, I think the problem, I guess this is inherently the problem with Unturned, there's just not enough to do. It gets to the point, that's the inherently problem with servers and maps, I would say, is that there's just not enough to do. Like, what is the end goal?
Okay, let me, this is gonna sound like I'm intelligent. You can make so much, but you can do so little.
Mm-hmm.
Why am I playing with such a bunch of pussies, dude? Holy shit.
I think the biggest example. Hold up.
We've been throwing a ball around with Diddley in Blockland for like 15 minutes.
Stas, I think the biggest example of what you just said was Ireland. Ireland had so many concepts to it, but literally, generally, it like boiled down to the judgment and literally like I forget what weapon that you would just get, and that's how you would play the map. Like
how old is Unturned?
2014. I think was when Unturned came out. Like Unturned 3.
And only now we're seeing like some concepts in the like nobody thought of any movement before. Like really, any movement tech? Really?
I don't know. It's interesting to think about, but the thing is, I think now, as opposed to back then, there's a lot more you can do with Unturned as opposed to back then.
Well, of course you can do more. You can make more because Nelson is like on hard coding the game with every single update.
There is obviously there are a couple things which I think I can't really make until a bit more's added or changed. I think the main thing is animations aren't synced for late joiners, and that is a massive thing.
Wait, what?
So okay, if something has an animation, right, and it's playing, it won't be synced for someone who like joins or renders it later.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
And I feel like that is a massive thing for especially more casual maps. Stuff like deathmatch arenas which have like moving parts are completely impossible. That's why you never see it, because it's impossible. You can't do it because everyone who joins, all of those moving parts will be at a different speed and play. Yeah, they will be desynced.
Huh.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that should definitely be fixed or worked on. Because even the person who joins first and renders them first, it'll be desynced because the server renders it before.
Yeah,
not renders it, but like. So absolutely any moving parts just won't work, and this can be like anything.
It's also funny how many discrepancies are between like single and multiplayer.
Yeah.
Oh hell yeah!
Like in modding specifically.
No, in glitching too. You can't. Oh my God. Like there's certain things you cannot do in single player that will only work.
I feel
in multi.
like, yeah. There's also I feel like a couple more like actions and stuff should be better, or like I don't know how to put this, but like kind of like the game trusts the client more. Stuff like explosive jumping is so different from multiplayer to single player, even on a server you're hosting yourself on your own PC, because there's always that like slight amount of lag where after an explosive jump, you'll kind of teleport, and that increases with ping, of course, but it shouldn't be a thing at all.
Even
to be fair, and other games have figured it out, like games like TF2, and basically any Source Engine game has figured it out.
it's all a bunch of math.
And it's
I guess if you would make it so the game trusts the client more, it makes the game much more prone to like cheating, right?
True.
And
But
I don't think BattleEye is that good.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Nah.
Yeah, I think that also, I think it's less about trusting the client, because I know that I found all the stuff you have to disable in servers to make sure to like completely stop all the checks and make the client absolutely always trusted, and it still happens. So it's not like it's not a trust thing. It's some kind of weird ping thing, which other games have figured out, and I do want to see Unturned.
It's a shit ton of math.
Because
it's just a shit ton of math, diddly.
Yeah, probably.
Literally, I believe it's a shit ton of math, because I remember people trying to break down how explosions work for Team Fortress 2, and it just comes down to math. So.
I mean, to be fair, these are two completely different engines, and once again, other games which are also Unity-based have figured it out.
It's math.
So
it's math.
It's math. I'm not good at
It's
math.
No.
That's basically what it falls down to, from what I believe.
You sure we can't do it with like duct tape?
Yeah, I think that would be the best
So-
solution.
Dude, Nelson should just go online and find code and copy and paste it into the latest build.
I mean,
and
that's
then
what
test it
coding
without
is.
And
testing.
then hope to God nothing breaks.
Isn't that what like
That's literally
coding
coding,
is?
yeah, that's what basically all coding
That's
is.
coding.
Well,
yes.
nowadays not really. Nowadays you just ask ChatGPT to do something.
Yeah.
Dude,
That is false. You can only ask ChatGPT very specific stuff. Like for example, write me a plugin for Unturned. Do you know that works? You can ask ChatGPT to write you a plugin, and it will for Unturned. We just tried it.
It's funny because you can learn. I think you can learn a lot off of it, actually. I think you can learn all the Blackout's code off of ChatGPT.
that's awesome.
So
What was it? Can't you gaslight a bunch of the chatbots into telling you a bunch of stuff that they're supposed to not tell you?
Yes, you just say, "Oh, pretend that you're my dying grandma."
yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Don't bring this up
It
before
was-
we get fucking blackballed by Google.
Yeah.
Dude, okay,
before-
I wanna really quickly bring this
No,
up.
Diddley,
goddamn-
come on.
What was it? No, there was what people were calling the deceased grandma workaround.
Yeah, I know.
for-
Don't say what
Discord
actually
bot.
happens though. I'm not trying to get turned over. We're gonna get
was
investigated
funny,
by
though.
YouTube AI
Okay, so
system.
the way you make meth is
Oh my
Holy
god.
shit.
It wasn't.
Oh my
it
God.
wasn't meth. It was napalm.
oh,
And they
Shut
and they,
up,
and they,
shut
and they
up.
said the full
Shut up.
instructions to it. It was kind of awesome.
we do the Unturned podcast does not condone such behavior.
No, I'm not doing it for the audience. I'm doing it for YouTube's like automated system.
imagine.
I don't care about it.
Yeah, we just have to like bleep out this.
I'm not
entire
bleeping it
segment.
out. You're all
No,
gonna hear
no.
it
Okay. Wait, no. And that's very bad. And in Minecraft.
in Minecraft.
So-
Whatever.
In Minecraft.
No, the in Minecraft thing doesn't work though.
Yeah.
They arrested
In
a guy.
Unturned. In
In
Unturned.
Yeah, in Unturned. In Blockland.
In Gmod.
Well, does anyone else have any other
Gary was
topics they want to
crazy.
bring up? Because we're at the
Dude.
hour mark now.
I mean, didn't we immediately? Weren't we gonna talk about UO more, and then we kind of immediately spiraled away from
Yeah,
it?
we can leave it for
I
another
mean,
day.
Is it really worth to talk about? Like it is what it is. What it is.
I
People
think
already know.
we're all good on
Sure.
the
You know who you are.
conversations. I think we can all just say we're just waiting for our applications to either get rejected or accepted.
We're waiting for Judgment Day.
So I mean that's
We're
all
waiting
we're
for
doing.
Judgment Day. We're waiting for Judgment Day, and only a few ones know what that is.
Real ones know.
But then again, like I don't know. We have really this was a bit of like just an us talking, because if we had a guest, we couldn't really bring up a lot of stuff.
That's a very classic podcast.
This is a very
episode,
classic
just
episode.
Sharing thoughts.
For real.
I love thinking. No, I lied.
Dude, I hate thinking.
I hate like imagine.
Dude, I'm gonna be honest, dude. This like ball game we're doing in Blockland has kind of been my substitute for thinking for about 20 minutes now.
No, for real though.
The podcast will
like
never
we need
change.
something like this in Unturned.
True, dude. Nelson, I know that Nelson watches the. Okay, Nelson, can you Google a video on how the Blockland basketball works and then implement that into Unturned, please?
Like,
that would be awesome.
Imagine one Friday update added new item basketball.
That would be awesome.
Actually, Nelson, I know you've been working with a lot of like physics when it comes to
please add the basketball.
when it comes to circular objects. I mean, it'd be interesting to see an actual physic like ball in the game.
Dude, okay, that reminds me. A while ago, I experimented with a vehicle which was just a sphere with like no wheels, nothing. But the thing is, vehicles and stuff have like a maximum capped speed, and like this includes like falling speed and everything. Can we get an option to disable that, please? I just want to like I want to try vehicles with no speed cap.
No.
That sounds dumb.
Do not get rid of that because hackers will be able to insta kill everyone in the server the moment they join and find a vehicle.
I mean, no. Just give it.
It'd be funny
to turn it off on the server. You know, just for
have it on that server.
Just for funsies.
Dude, that's the Unturned official suggestions life hack. You add a server config for, and then you never get downvotes.
Yeah.
Like, I suggested TF2 man shreds and it didn't get downvoted because I said server config.
Just give it an option. You're gonna, it's optional.
It's just an option. Just an option.
The last thing this game needs, I think, is the fucking more optional stuff. You know.
True, more optional. You know, we should be able to just tick a box, and then when you load in, it's 2.0 again.
Yeah.
I don't want to install the game again.
Imagine if that imagine if something like that happened. Like imagine,
uniformity.
like exactly.
Non-existent uniformity. My whole entire video.
Yes. You yes, that is true. But like imagine if like
existent.
Imagine if like 4.0 happens, right?
Alright, well,
and it's not a separate game. It's just like when you boot up Unturned, when you have like the launch without Battle Isle and like
launch up 4.0.
When you first
launch up 4.0, you can literally it's the same game, but you have an option to play like a completely different version of it. You still it would be what would be fucking funny?
Servers are cross compatible.
Yeah, you still see the same server list, but it's just like full of errors when you join one or something.
No, dude, it'd actually be sick if when 4.0 eventually happens, you get the option to still play as the 3.0 characters with all the 3.0 like physics and movement and everything, but then alongside all the 4.0 stuff.
It's like a
so there's just a server of like half like 3.0 and half 4.0.
If you're actually talking about the like Unturned and its future and stuff like that, I saw like on Twitter today. I got reminded of this one person who just ported like the Nico from One Shot, like the model into Unturned.
Oh yeah.
And then I remembered your fucking Freddy Fazbear plane mod,
dude.
And I was like, wait a second, like Unturned characters don't need to be those ugly cubes, you know? It just got
okay. Something that Doug showed me. He was speaking to me a while before. He published that video, which was the flintlock animation, which was just extremely overloaded and then blew up. Yeah. He told me the rig in that video is 100% compatible with Unturned.
Yeah,
and
it's like
you can port and use that model and rig in Unturned.
Like everything blocky about Unturned is not a
it's optional.
It's a choice, right?
Yeah.
So
true.
Unturned, you could how there's like what is called Ares VR, like the hyper realistic VR shooter game. It's made in Roblox, right?
Yeah, the Roblox.
You could have you could totally have like a somewhat realistic game in terms of graphics in Unturned if someone decided to put the effort in. And that just kind of blows my mind.
Yeah,
that's nice. That's nice for Unturned.
Just a thought I wanted to share.
I think it more so comes down to custom skeletons and custom animations aren't a thing for players yet.
Oh my god! Imagine if we had like the R6 and the
R6 and R15, dude, that'd be awesome. Dude, that's what dude, that was okay. That's kind of what I had in mind when I was saying the 3.0 and 4.0 characters at the same time. That's exactly what I had in mind.
Yeah, that could happen at some point.
That could be kind of funny.
All right,
it would be funny. Would it be good?
No,
I don't know. No.
Maybe actually.
Maybe, probably we can't tell. Really, we can't tell what the future holds. But may it be bright.
All right. Well,
yeah.
I think that's a good place to end off the episode for this month.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Mm-hmm. All right. This concludes this episode of the Unturned Podcast. I hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you next month with a very special guest, and it's going to be interesting. It's going to be very interesting. Goodbye. Goodbye.
Bye bye.